My name is Maciej Czarnecki. I'm working for Netim for 9 years now, and I'm in a position of a software engineer and as well as technical leader in the JVM branch of the company.
Thanks. Could you tell us a bit about your task during the IoT hackathon?
So we are at the IoT hackathon. So the theme for the hackathon was to use the Cumulocity platform, which is a solution for IoT systems. And we decided to use artificial intelligence together with the IoT ecosystem. So our idea was to create a proof of concept application to show how AI can be used in such a ecosystem. The base for the whole application was the Cumulocity platform, because that was the idea behind the hackathon.
Okay.
And we used, in addition to that, we used OpenAI API to get the AI capabilities.
That's good. Do you see any practical usages for this solution?
Yes, of course. Well, that was the idea, that we wanted to show that this can be practically used. So with the power of AI, there are many possibilities which opens now, and the biggest problem is to find a good application in the particular ecosystem. Our example was based on the wind turbine ecosystem. So that we changed the way how it is operated. So initially, we started from the point when all the operations were executed manually by a person, and we added an artificial assistant based on AI, which suggests, based on the current state of the system, current weather, current wind direction, we suggest to execute some operation. In practice, it looked like operator sees the representation of the current state of the system, and next to it, it sees some suggestions that, for example, based on the wind direction and current position of a turbine, AI suggests to rotate the turbine a little bit to maximize the...
Yeah, so in that way, the solution is a secure one, hence there's a human factor, right?
Yes, exactly. That was our idea. And so we could as well, it would be even simpler for us to do it in a way that those suggestions are automatically applied. Yeah. So from the application design perspective, but we wanted to make it practical. So I believe that the level of advancement of the AI, considering its restrictions, it's a bit of unpredictability, we thought it would be better to give the final decision to a human.
What do you see as the most important challenge or thing to address in terms of security, costs, and so on?
Yeah. So security is a big concern indeed in context of artificial intelligence. So there are many new ways of attacking the system using the artificial intelligence. One of the famous is prompt injection, when a user can, if the system allows a user to give any prompt, any query from the UI perspective, it's vulnerable to this kind of attack. In our system, we prevented this in a way that we don't give a control over the whole prompt to the user. So we on the backend side of the system, we control exactly what is sent. The only variable factor are the variable values. So in our example, it was the wind direction and current wind turbine position, which are just numbers, and it's very easy. Software engineering has good approaches to validate such kind of input values to make sure that there are valid numbers, and that's only thing which changes. So in this context, based on the design, in the design itself, we prevent the prompt injection attack. And the cost is, of course, also a big concern. Everything depends on the scale. In our context, the communication between the backend and the AI, in particular OpenAI API, and control it fully. So it doesn't depend on the user input, on the number of devices. For example, We just do it every 5 seconds, and we can be sure, we can easily predict what would be the cost of such a solution.
Sounds good. In your view, what's the future of coding using AI?
There are a lot of companies which are now working on some on cool technologies, and I believe in half a year, in a year, we will see a lot of quite mature tools which leverage the AI. So, in fact, I know it sounds like a buzzword, but it to me it's like the imagination. Human imagination is the only limit here. We don't even know what the AI is capable of. We just know it is kind of intelligent, that we managed to give the machine intelligence in a way how we define intelligence usually. We are only limited by what we can think of, how we can apply this, and the big challenge right now is to find the experts in domains like IoT domain, and just make them understand how to use the AI tools, and combine those two, the expertise in those two domains together to create great things.
Thank you for your insight.
Thank you.